Okay, so today is Sunday, the 12th of January, 2025, which might seem weird to you considering yesterday's vlog was the 20th of December, 2024. And this vlog itself is actually going to encompass all of the days between what is today, right, the 12th of January, and then the last vlog, which was the 20th of December. I have been incredibly busy, and the whole vlog channel kind of got away from me, but I definitely recorded crap every single day, but I didn't record, like, my impression of every single day. I didn't open or close the vlog on any of these days. So we'll talk about what happened now. Obviously, as you can tell, a whole heck of a lot of gym action has been happening. Serena and I have been increasingly more dedicated on our fitness, and that doesn't just count, exercise, but also recovery, right? We've been spending more time in the hot tub because unfortunately we both dealt with minor injuries, which I am still nursing. But that aside, the main topic is fitness, weightlifting specifically. We've both been trying to put on muscle. I know I've talked about that for the last, I don't know how long, but we started in December, and we're going to be riding this out through March, and things continue to progress relatively well. As of today, I am 242 pounds, which is about a 25-pound increase over the course of the last 4.5, 5 weeks. And Serena is, I don't know what Serena's at specifically, considering she's out of town right now at a cheer competition. I can't ask her, but I know the last time she weighed herself, she was like 153. So, up close to 20 pounds herself. Obviously, in this time span, the fitness is not the only thing. Family was a key aspect of it as well, because the holidays occurred. I don't know what you guys celebrate, celebrate what you will, but we celebrate Christmas. Mostly secular Christmas, personally, but that's aside. Anyways, we got a chance to go over to my dad's house, hang out with my brother, my sister-in-law, my niece, who is just exceedingly adorable. It's really not fair, but we had a great time spending Christmas Eve specifically with them, because my dad historically and his family have always celebrated Christmas on Christmas Eve. It's actually kind of like a Hispanic tradition, so it's not unique just to them or that part of the family, but it is just a tradition, for lack of a better word. So yeah, we made tamales, we hung out, we drank, we eat, we sang, we laughed, we cried. It was a fantastic time, and everything that you'd expect a family Christmas get-together to be. And we didn't just celebrate with my dad. We also went over to my mom's house for Christmas morning, which was just absolutely incredible. You see it now. There's just a ridiculous amount of presents because there was a ridiculous amount of people. There's only like a quarter probably of the people in the frame right now that were actually at the house. And it was a great time. After that, I don't remember if this was the 26th, maybe this was the 27th, I changed my oil for the first time. Not like for the first time changing the oil. Usually I take it into the shop. But I decided to learn how to do it myself. My dad has always been a car guy, so I went over there and he taught me how. And then that evening, my cousin and her girlfriend had an engagement party. So we went over and watched Snoop Dogg. No, we went and watched football and congratulated them, but Snoop Dogg was on. And then this was the next day. We tried to go to the gym early in the morning, as we normally do, right around 4:30. But since it was a weekend, we learned they didn't open that early. We had to sit out front of the friggin' gym. We went to the store, like you just saw, to try and kill some time, but we still ended up having to sit and wait for the doors to open. It was wild. And people were actually lining up outside the gym. I don't know. It's unheard of for me. I guess it's just because I've never been that early. Ordinarily, we were only mildly early, but still very unique. And then, of course, what is a true holiday break, for lack of a better word, without hanging out with your pup in his cone. Leo had fungal dermatitis diagnosed on his tail. You can see the wound there kind of because he chewed it friggin' off. It was graphic and I had to clean it. And then, of course, we had our yearly Lord of the Rings marathon. Serena and I make it a habit at least once a year to watch all three of Peter Jackson's trilogy, the extended versions, of course, back to back to back in a full day. It's about 12 hours long, and it's a great freaking time. I mean, everyone loves the Lord of the Rings, right? I mean, come on. They're fan freaking tastic. Peter Jackson did a great job, and they still hold up pretty well to this day. Obviously, the CGI is dated, for lack of a better word, but everything else is so great. And since these films largely don't rely upon CGI, and that's what made them so good in the first place, they still hold up fantastically. Speaking of holding up, my grip holds up. Yep, that's right. Back to gym. Or back to the gym. So this is me doing deadlifts. This is 405 pounds, which I haven't done actually in a good amount of time, and I just wanted to see what I was capable of, if I could still do it. And yeah, I did it pretty darn easily. So good to know that we continue to not only put on size, obviously, right? I mentioned the weight gain, the poundage there, but continuing to develop strength as well. And I suppose they go hand in hand, right? If you're getting stronger, you're going to get bigger. Not always are you getting bigger. Okay, so let me rephrase this. If you're getting stronger, you're growing muscles, right? In some capacity. Sometimes if you're just putting on pounds, you could just be getting a little chunky. But, I do cardio to try and keep up with that, aka I go disc golfing. So I haven't actually been able to go disc golfing as much as I'd like in recent history for a number of reasons, right? Number one, it's cold as heck outside. We did have a relatively nice day here when Rob and I went, but it was windy. Everything was perfect. And then the wind's like, nah, it's gotta, something has to go wrong, right? You can't have a perfect disc golf day in December. It's illegal. So here's like 70-mile-per-hour winds. Good luck. Try and throw your plastic now, nerds. So yeah, back to the gym, really, for anything and everything fitness related. I've been doing multiple leg days a week. That's been a huge focus of mine. I've always had a pretty well-developed upper body, and I guess decently developed lower body as well, but I always feel like my lower body is just a little bit behind my upper body in terms of development. So I've been doubling up on that. I mean, really, I guess I still hit upper body more than lower body because I do this like 2-week everyday split, which I'll talk about probably at a later date. Anyways, I digress. I have 2 dedicated leg days in hopes of, fixing what I perceive to be some level of imbalance. And speaking of balance, gotta have fun too. On New Year's Eve, Serena and I met up with a few friends of ours, Alec, Alexi, Derek, Haley, and Alex. You've seen, I think, all of them on the vlog at some point or another. We all went to the Renaissance Festival earlier in the summer because New Year's Eve is Derek's birthday. And he wanted to go celebrate at this place called Dave & Buster's, which is like this giant arcade and restaurant sort of thing. Perfect for me. And I learned that I was no longer able to play DDR as well as I thought. I haven't played DDR in like 10 years, and Lexi and I got up there to try and play an expert song, and I promptly died. But by and large, it was a good time. We stayed there for about 5 hours, and then we ran into a snowstorm, funnily enough, immediately after, and we drove over to Derek and Haley's house to, I guess, round out the night, right? Because the whole tradition with New Year's Eve is you stay up till midnight, the ball drops in New York City, and yay, you celebrate. And so we did that, and it was a great time getting an opportunity to hang out with a bunch of people and celebrate the start of a new year, right? And hopefully a great year it will be. I've got my, I guess, optimism meter cranked to 11. I believe that great things will happen. We'll see. Anyway, like I said, it was Derek's birthday, so we sang him happy birthday, wrapped up the night with some King Soopers cheesecake, and played a few games and hung out with the dogs. It was great. It was nice. Definitely ended up being a lot longer of an experience than I expected. I think we got together at 3 and then left at like 2, so almost 12 hours of hanging out. And after that, we were all very tired and spent the entirety of the next day kind of lazing about, which was great. And then it was back to normal, back to work, back to the gym again. I guess I didn't really take any time off from that, but back to that. And I've been doing a lot of Instagram videos. Actually, I know a few of you follow me. It's Luke Perez on Instagram, all one word. And I did this like catalog of the things I eat in a day. Obviously, not every day is the same, but just a general sort of, I don't know, idea of what my day looks like. And so this is not all of the clips from it, but these are just like a few of the clips from that video that I created. Food is definitely, in my opinion, the hardest part about fitness, whether you're trying to gain muscle, lose fat, or do both, either, whatever the case may be, whatever you're trying to do, the food is both the most important thing and the most difficult thing. And again, the most difficult thing about my job is the commute, which you get to see some here. We had some really interesting fog or low-hanging clouds on the drive in. It was 0 degrees Fahrenheit that day. And then, yes, of course, that means also snow. So that makes the commute great. Right. Yeah, it does. Sarcasm. Anyways, I need to start working from home a little bit more when these sort of days happen, because it's just totally inefficient for me to waste like 6 hours of my day driving when I could be spending it at the gym again. So yeah, I know I've mentioned this a number of times, how it's going to become ever more prevalent, but that's just what it is. Serena and I are on a mission to do some things here physically, and we're having a good time with it. So I guess that's the most important thing of all. But I don't know if I'd call it like a New Year's resolution or anything, because we've been doing it since before then. And really, I myself am just trying to work back to what I have been. Like, while I am relatively muscular now at 242 pounds, this is nowhere near the most muscular I've ever been. And I took like 4 years off, so I kind of lost everything, and now I'm just trying to build it back up, and it's a fun process. It's a fun process, really. So I guess that's that. The end of one year, the start of another. Hopefully more consistency to come in 2025. So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoyed yourself, and I hope that you had a great holiday season, a great new year, and that your 2025 is off to the best start imaginable. And I hope I see you again tomorrow.